Hi, it's Anne Marie with AM Astro. Today I wanted to talk about the Leo full moon that's coming up this week on Wednesday. Got my little cohort here. Let me share my screen. Okay, so as you can see, I have it set for Washington, D.C. and 8:53 a.m. on February 12th, Wednesday. And immediately you can see the 2406 sun in the 12th house, moon in the 6th house. There's an awful lot of energy there in the 12th house. And I wanted to just talk about the placements of this chart because this is kind of gnarly. So the sun in Aquarius in the 12th house. The 12th house is about underground movements and secret enemies of the state in mundane astrology. Secret and occult societies, hospitals and prisons, homes of the afflicted, and the sun is highlighting these areas in the news and in our lives. The moon, which is reflecting the light of the sun as much as it possibly can when it's at the full opposition, is in Leo in the 6th house. And the 6th house is commonly said to stand for the military, armed services, and civil services, workers and the employed classes generally, public health. The moon is reflecting the light of the sun into these areas, i.e., what the sun is doing is causing effects on these areas. And so already you can see these are the headlines that we've been listening to in the news, and we can't seem to get away from it. Unless we like go dive under a rock somewhere and hang out there. That's about our only option to get away from everything that's going on. I wanted to remind you that the new moon that we had 2 weeks ago was conjunct the asteroid called Icarus. And Icarus, of course, was the young man that wanted to fly, and he made wings out of wax and flew too close to the sun. And we discussed that this is like young men flying too close to the sun, wings getting burned and crashing to the ground. And we considered, in my video that I did on the new moon, we considered if this could be Musk, but now it seems it could actually refer to his young henchmen, engineers accessing our private information and doing God knows what with it. So we just pray that this full moon is the culmination of the seeds that were planted at the new moon. And so those seeds, those Icarus seeds were planted. And so what a better time for those wings to start melting. Am I right? So looking at this, all this energy in the 12th house. Also, I wanted to point out, though, that the sun is in detriment in Aquarius because the sun rules Leo. And so the sun is not in very good shape in this chart. So if you think of it, it's like it's shining the light in the 12th house, which is a dark house. It can't see the ascendant. And it's in detriment. So it doesn't have the resources it needs to do the things that the sun wants to do. And the sun has natural tendencies to illuminate, it's generally a benefactor. It brings, life to us and life to all things. So in Aquarius, it's not doing all those things that it wants to do. So let's go back to this 12th house and just talk about all the planets that are not doing well. Okay. Mercury is coming out of its cazimi. It's still under the beams of the sun, now considered combust, burned up by the sun's blinding rays. Mercury rules the press, education, and all who are concerned therewith, i.e., Department of Education, possibly um, being smothered by the President of the United States, the Sun, right? The post office and all means of communication, political speeches, and meetings come under this planet, and it covers commerce and trade matters, trade wars. It often indicates changes. So yes, we have changes coming. That bird, I'm sorry, I still have to keep watch on him. So now Mercury, now that it's gone through its cazimi, it's become a night star. It's not a star yet. You can't see it yet, but you'll see it when an evening star, when the sun sets. But it's changed from a diurnal planet to a nocturnal planet by going through that cazimi and getting onto this side of the sun. This full moons in general, bring light to situations. I kind of have a problem with that right now because it's in the two dark houses, the 12th house and the 6th house. This is a health axis, prison reform, slavery, just dark things are this axis. And so this is, things are being illuminated, but is it stuff we want to see? Okay. So very quickly after the full moon, the moon will oppose Mercury, which could indicate miscommunication with the military, with false messages regarding health issues, getting rid of the CDC, or not allowing them to communicate with us. Do we have a job or not? With Doge continues wreak havoc throughout the federal government. Then let's look at Saturn, who is peregrine, which means that he doesn't have any essential dignity in Pisces. So peregrine, he doesn't have any resources to do what he wants to do. And in general, Saturn rules the formal side of government, its ordinative and administrative aspects, the law from the standpoint of its restraining purposes, as distinct from the law that guarantees liberty. Because Saturn can't do what it wants to do, i.e., administer restraining laws, things can run amok. Note all the lawsuits being filed to try to stop Doge and its efforts, but seemingly there are no resources to stop the damage from continuing. We're looking at Venus. So Venus is in Aries. Again, aggressive. She's not happy because this is her detriment. She rules Libra, and so being in Aries is uncomfortable for her. Like all of these, so many planets are uncomfortable in this chart. She rules the social and festive side of the nation's life, society, and art. She wants to add to the national happiness and well-being and tends to preserve peace. But in Aries, she's unable to do these things as she has no power to do them. She may try to initiate action towards these things, but as she is approaching her station to turn retrograde, she will have to readdress any efforts and reconsider actions she may have missed or that have been acted against her efforts. So she'll be stationing soon after this full moon, in the next week or so, I believe, stationing retrograde. Jupiter, getting back to Jupiter here, signifies religion, judges and the law, banking, insurance, philanthropy, and movements and institutions focused on these ends. But it is in detriment. So is without any resources to do anything about those things. It recently stationed direct and is still at the degree of its station. It is in an ongoing antitial relationship with Mars, which is a shadow conjunction, a secret aspect that comes from a balance of light shared over the solstitious points of Cancer and Capricorn. Because Jupiter had been retro and recently stationed direct, and Mars is returning and is approaching its own station, they have been and will continue to be in this shadowy mix of debilitated energy. Jupiter is also in contention, and I've talked about this in some my videos before. Contention or moon kai, which means it is a diurnal planet ruled by a nocturnal planet, because now that Mercury is on this side of the sun, it is now a nocturnal planet. So diurnal planet ruled in Gemini by a nocturnal planet, Mercury, but Mercury is in Aquarius, which is ruled by a diurnal Saturn. So it's when it flips. And it's said to have some sort of offending God situation here. And Jupiter, the planet of God, the planet of religion, it's a corruption. Jupiter is moon kai in a chart. It can signify physical, social, or financial risk taking, excessive behavior, or indulgences which have potentially harmful or addictive consequences, tendency to exaggeration or resentment when challenged by others, obstacles or constant setbacks in achieving success, recognition, or ambitions, difficulty with children or money, a feeling of being unprotected and unlucky. I think we're feeling pretty unprotected right now, aren't we? So Jupiter is found in the third house, which will bring these energies to neighboring nations and the country's relations with them. All methods of transit and including airlines. So yeah, this shadow conjunction, detrimental planets, moon kai, Jupiter, and we've been dealing with planes crashing. So now let's look at Mars. And Mars, as stated, is in its sign of fall, retrograde, approaching its station. It is the other side of this ongoing antitial relationship or secret conjunction with Jupiter. Mars rules the armed forces and the military industrial complex. And it has connections to engineers. It rules criminality and violence and is associated with separation and can be associated with fire. In this chart, Mars is in the fourth house of home and family and foundations, land and property, and the produce of the land. In the fourth house, we can expect heated arguments or fighting with the people of the land, the regular folk, the opposition. So I did mention Uranus. The full moon is squaring Uranus, which adds the unexpected, explosive, and rebellious nature of the planet known for such things. Uranus has been connected to the administration of power. When it is afflicted, squaring the luminaries, it is rebellious and anarchic. So that's a lot. That's a lot of hard stuff. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about this chart and what you're looking for in today's headlines that might reflect these things. And thanks for watching. I've got new subscribers. Wow, I'm so excited. I haven't added to my subscriber list in I don't know how long. So that's been fun to see that number going up. And please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you. It doesn't cost a thing. And thanks again. We will see you soon. Bye-bye.